I wasn't a hitman. Who was it? Who, you know, a hitman? That's like a Hollywood term,
right? But you had never. But you had never directly killed somebody.
No, I was in on him, but I never pulled the trigger.
Right,
no.
and but that was enough to where you could have been straightened out.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You don't have to pull the trigger to get straightened out. You could be in a crash car as long as you're part of the hit team.
Right. And now, is that because they want you? Is that what is the point of that? Like, what's their thinking behind that policy in the mob?
I don't know what you mean.
Like, why is that? Why is it that in order to be straightened out, to get made, do you have to at least be part of a murder?
Well, that's how it used to be.
Yeah. Why was that though?
Well, in my father's day, you had to commit a murder.
To commit a murder, right?
To be straightened out.
Is that because they wanted you? Is that a test of loyalty?
First of all, because they didn't want a lot of guys getting straightened out. They wanted to make sure that you were, because if you were willing to commit a murder, you pretty much were what they were looking for.
Yeah, it's
like
loyal.
You checked all the boxes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not only could you commit a murder, but you knew how to make money. Then you really checked the boxes.
Yeah.
So on my father's day, you had to commit a murder to get straightened out. Then in 57, when the books got opened, it sort of changed a little.
Mm-hmm.
Murder, or if you were an earner, and then you got straightened out. Carlo Gambino then closed the books because a lot of people that he didn't think deserved to get straightened out started getting straightened out. He closed the books in the 60s. When he died in the 70s, Paul Castellano opened the books again, and then everybody came. That's when Sammy Gravano got straightened, Nicky got straightened out, John Gotti, Angelo, and you didn't have to. If you committed a murder, you got straightened out immediately. But if you were just an earner, maybe you had to wait a while.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't as fit. But to get straightened out, to be guaranteed being made, you had to participate in a murder in some capacity. Like John Gotti got straightened out for killing the guy in Staten Island, Braxton. He didn't pull the trigger.
Okay.
Angelo Quack was there. He didn't pull the trigger. They were there, but another guy pulled the trigger, but they were in on the hit.
Right. And also, like, it's probably a defense against cooperation, because if everybody knows about a murder, now you have stuff on each other. So the likelihood that you're going to rat is lower.
In my case, even though what I did was considered like harder than pulling the trigger. I had to pick up a guy.
Yeah.
Keep him calm, and I drove that poor bastard to his death.
Right. And what did you tell him? So basically the ruse that you were telling Frankie was that, hey, we have, because he's an armed robber, we got a dope spot that we're going to. I
told him Tony Lee had a safe house that was full of money.
Right.
In South Ozone Park. He wanted to talk to him about it.
Yeah. And how long did you wait from the incident where he strangled your mother till the time?
Oh, wow. It was February. It was 4 or 5 months. We waited.
So he thought, okay, all this is blown over.
Oh yeah,
I'm fine.
Yeah. So because I was capable of doing that, that gave me props in the mob.
Yeah.
Like after that happened and he disappeared, you know, people looked at me differently.
Right.
Like if I could drive someone to their death, like I was worthwhile. You know, like that made me gave me, you know, some cred. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But was I a hitman? No, I mean, I was no hitman.
Caniglia was a hitman.
Caniglia was a hitman.
He was a psycho.
Sammy was a hitman.
Yeah.
My father was a hitman.
All right.
John was a hit. Yeah, those were.
I was very surprised to when I saw the documentary to see how smart and well respected and what a good earner Sammy the Bull was, because I just grew up thinking he was just one of these like dumb guineas. No offense, one of these just dumb brutes that they used for wet work. But he was actually a very useful asset.
He was a major earner.
He was a major earner.
Guy ran construction companies, multi-million-dollar businesses.
Right.
He's still earning money. He's smart.
Right.
Listen, just John Gotti, smart. My father, smart. If they would have took, even myself, I went back to school at 60 and became a counselor.
Oh, wow.
Like, you know,
awesome.
we just had, we had no direction, you know, like, so if excuse me, if they put all their efforts into being legitimate, like they put into being the mob, they would have been successful businessmen.
Oh, I mean, even like, some college educated kid like me could never, I can barely wrap my head around the numbers, the intelligence and the organization and the business acumen. It's astounding what you guys had.
Tony Lee, my father's partner, was a champion chess player. He was so smart. He was, it just, they just went in the wrong direction. Even me, when I was in the 6th grade, I got voted the smartest kid in the class. And then in the 7th grade, I was a truant.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just hard-headed Brooklyn kids of the time.
Yeah.
You were of the time. You know what I mean?
I don't say I'm a victim, but I'm a product of my upbringing, of my neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm a product of that environment. Am I a victim? Maybe I am a little bit of a victim, but I'm more of a product of my environment.
And I think the judge was right when he said that about you. Like, when you're born, like it's like a child soldier in Africa that's kind of brainwashed to like shoot an AR-15 when he's 5 years old. At a very reduced scale, that's kind of what you
without a doubt. Without a doubt. Don't forget, I'm born to, I'm like, one day I was in a room, I happened to be in a room with like 5 or 6 FBI agents. They happened to be all Italian. And I'm sitting in a room with them, and they're on that side of the table. I'm here by myself. And I looked at them and I said, so we're talking, and I go, let me ask you a question. What did all your fathers do for a living? So one of them said, my father was, worked for ICE. Another one's father was an FBI agent. Another one's father was Secret Service.
Yeah.
All law enforcement.
Right.
In one form or another.
Yeah.
And I looked at them and I went, well, you know what? Every day when you just wake up, thank God that none of your fathers was a wise guy.
Yeah.
Because then maybe you'd be in this chair and I'd be in your chair.
That's right.
It's just the hand I was dealt.
Right.
Like if my father was a butcher, maybe I would have became a butcher.
Yeah.
If my father was a car mechanic, but my father was a wise guy.
Yeah.
Why I was raised by them. That's all I knew. I always knew something was different about my father than everybody else's fathers.
Right.
I always knew, but I didn't know what it was when I was a kid, but I knew it was different. When I found out what it was, I felt good about it.
Yeah.
And I wanted more of it.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Totally understand that.
Yeah.
What when you say open the books, and that means the organization's taking new members.
Right.
How often would the books open? And then how often did they close and why?
Well, they were closed in the 50s. I don't know the reason why. In the 50s, it was only special cases were getting straightened out. If someone passed away, they would fill the slot.
Right. Your dad.
Right. My father was a special case. They opened up the books. He was only 26 years old. And the reason why he was a special case was because he committed murders for Albert Anastasia. So Albert wanted him straight. Albert liked him. Albert used to call him the kid. That was his nickname. Call the kid, send the kid. Because he was a kid.
Yeah.
So he got straightened out. Then in 57, when Albert Anastasia got killed, they opened up the books again to reinforce everybody, and they started straightening guys out. That's when Tony Lee got straightened out. A lot of guys got straightened out. Then Carlo Gambino closed the books because people that he thought didn't deserve were getting straightened out.
Right.
He closed the books. They stood closed for years.
Right.
From the 60s till he died, till the 70s. They opened up again in the 70s. They have never been closed again. That was it. They're open now to this day. They never got closed again.
Yeah.
After when Paul opened them up in the 70s, they've been open ever since.
Do you ever hear from people that are in the street still or that are in the life? Like, do you have any knowledge of activities in Brooklyn amongst the Gambinos?
I have knowledge of people that have got straightened out within the last couple of years. Okay. Which kind of surprised me.
Yeah. So they're still doing it.
Yeah. They're still doing it. Even the FBI told me, I can't believe they're still straightening people out. It's never going to go away. It's never going to end.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see it ending totally.
Yeah.
People are always going to just listen, supply and demand. People are always going to need something. Is the culture going to change? Like no more violence. There's nobody, they don't want to commit. Like the rules are now, no more killing. You're not even allowed to kill anybody anymore because it's too much heat. It's too much security. It's too much.
Yeah.
So,
if a guy won't pay you back, or if you're a bookmaker and a degenerate doesn't want to pay you, just
listen. When I was in Detroit, when I was living in Michigan, I used to meet every month with the FBI. They give me a stipend when I was still testifying, so I would meet every month. I would drive to Detroit, and I would meet FBI agents in Detroit, and they would give me money and ask me how I'm doing, and we would go over some things because they had to keep tabs on me. They told me. They left. They go, you're never going to believe. Now, there's the mob in Detroit. They got a mafia family in Detroit.
They have
a strong
you're not
going to believe what we just found out. And they left. I go, what is it? There's a rule now in Detroit, in Michigan, with the mafia that if anybody owes them money for bookmaking or anything, they just got to let it go. They're not allowed to commit any more acts of violence because they don't want no heat. I go, man, I got to find a bookmaker. I told them, I said, what are you kidding me? They go, no, they said because they don't want, so it's because it's only paper. So if someone bets with them and owes them $10,000 and don't want to pay them, they're told to just cross it off.
Right. Because it's not, the money that they're going to collect is more than the money.
Right.
Like the money they're going to lose when they go to prison for a dozen years versus what they could just write off as a loss it's not worth it.